The Foraging Vintners is where we will find Josh Brookes. Josh, cheers mate. Welcome back.
Cheers.
Good to be back.
Thanks for having us.
Absolute pleasure.
Of course it's good to be back.
So, we were just chatting. 2018 was the last time you raced here, but you were here last year as a fan.
Yeah.
Stroke mechanic, stroke, you kind of did everything for everyone, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the island, of the event, of racing, of motorcycles, of people. It's just, yeah, there isn't, you can't come here and not find something that floats your boat.
Yeah, I knew you were a fan, almost a closet anorak, I'd say. On the way up, literally asking Ben and Tom Birchall, we've just had those in the car, and you're asking them every single question about their engine. Has it always been the case? Like, you've always had a fascination as a kid growing up?
It was brought on because, he won't mind me saying this, my dad isn't a very good mechanic. Right. So when we started out, so me and my brother and my sister at one point were all racing dirt bikes, and my dad was doing his best to, you know, keep 3 kids racing motorbikes. It must
be expensive, that.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I started to recognise how displeased I was with the presentation of the bikes. And my dad had, rather than buy like good quality, you know, like you fall off and break a lever, let's say, and rather than buying like a replacement proper part or a good quality one, he'd just buy like a pattern one that's like cheap, nasty.
My kind of man. That's what I do.
I don't think he knew how important the controls and stuff were to how you control the bike, and so at a young age I realised that if I wanted my bikes to be better, I had to learn to do it myself, which, as it turns out, is a blessing. But at the time, you know, I probably felt a bit hard done by. But now I've become so fascinated with the mechanical and the science of how we go racing. So it's
so do you get
drawn me in.
Before we go TT, do you get involved in the mechanic, even though you're a factory rider, a professional rider? Do you just have a little tinker every now and again with them?
Not with my own race bikes, no.
You don't touch it?
No, I've got this like perfect harmony balance where when I'm like at home in the off season, I can tinker about and play, and you know, with motocross bikes or a go-kart, whatever it is, you know, there's enough stuff there for me to kind of fill that interest and need to play with the mechanical side of things. And then during the race season, I use motocross as one of my main training platforms. And so as a byproduct, there's loads of maintenance that's involved. So I've kind of got this, I just do enough that I keep myself satisfied that when I get to the racetrack, I'm actually quite happy to let someone else take over. And I think it was difficult because when I first started racing, I was a privateer doing it, and you know, it was, you know, Dad would be there helping take the tyre warmers off and putting the fuel in, but you know, I was adjusting the suspension and setting the tension of the chain, and you know, making sure all the you know, the real technical stuff before you're about to go out to the track was all done. And it was a real difficult process when I first got a professional ride to let go. I really struggled with that. You know, I was like getting right in there amongst it and trying to tell, you know, seasoned professionals how to do their job, and I didn't realise at the time how irritating that must have been, because I was so, as a rider, how you have to be, you're so fixed on the job, you kind of ignore all your outside surroundings. And it's only, you know, years later that I realised how much of a pain in the butt I must have been at that time. But finally I got the I got the understanding, and I got probably I could say I got the trust in the people around me, and then I could comfortably like back off and just focus on the racing.
So what about this new team then, FHO? Like, you've got to have trust in them, like you said. Already you're off to a bit of a, you know, let's say a flying start at the BSB. So you're looking forward to bringing that team here with a teammate in Hickey.
No, I mean, it's actually in the 14 years I think I worked it out that I've been doing BSB, this is the best opening round to a season I've had. So we're definitely off to that, as you mentioned, flying start. Hickey has proven the quality of the staff in FHO team. So I've once again got the luxury of just stepping into a already fully prepped, ready to go race team, and just take the benefits of that situation.
You take a lot of confidence coming into this TT knowing that I mean, Hickey's Hickey, right? And he will step up when the TT comes around. But to know that you can jump on that bike so quickly and be so fast on it at the short circuits, you hope that that's going to translate when you come here in May.
Yeah, I mean, you try and use any or every tool at your disposal to strengthen your chances, and you also then analyse your chances and potential off the back of what you know.
Yeah.
So I know the bike's good, I know the team's good, I know from statistics that I've got the ability to do what my rivals are doing. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of putting all those pieces. The ingredients are there, aren't they?
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But
It's about mixing them right.
It's about putting them together right at the right moment, at the right time, and then seeing if you can produce that cake.
And do you think the fact that obviously everyone had 3 years away from the TT, everyone's got a year on you now.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to cause you an issue or not?
It has to be a disadvantage. You know, obviously coming back last year would have been the best opportunity. You know, because everyone would be, let's say, I don't think there's ever going to be a level playing field, because people like John have got such a vast experience.
Yeah.
That you'll never be able to bridge that gap. But
it was as close as you ever
but it was
gonna
as
get
close
to
as you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
So, you know, in an ideal world, that would have been the best year to come back. But I don't think it matters. In my, I mean, for my own personal perspective, I'm going to come back at my speed anyway. So, you know, whether it was last year or this year, or whether it was against someone or not against someone, you know, I mean, to me, I'm not really focused on how much of an advantage or disadvantage I'm at. I'm living my own journey.
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what everyone's doing. That's one of the beauties of the TT. It's a time trial.
Yeah.
So at any given moment, apart from your pit boards and the information when you do your pit stop, you're on your own.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yourself.
You're doing your thing your way.
So what will you be happy with coming back?
I think I'd just like to improve on what I've done before, which is already a good standard. You know, like nearly 132. So if I can beat that, would be the first target. And this all depends on how smooth practice goes, how quickly I adapt, how quickly I recover my knowledge of the circuit and the feeling, and there's so many sort of little steps you got to go through before you get to that point. But what I'd like to see is maybe a podium. I mean, I don't know if that's too far to try and reach for, but I think I'd have had a pretty good return to TT if I made it to the podium.
All right, last question: British Superbike Champion or TT winner this year? Bearing in mind this is for the TT.
Okay. Well, I've already won the British Superbike Championship.
Yeah.
So, on that basis, I'd like to win a TT.
Fair. Well, I think you're more than capable of doing both of them this year as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm on camera, I'm not setting that as a target.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want
of course,
people
yeah.
to be misguided by that, but you're asking a hypothetical question, so I'm giving you a hypothetical answer.
I like it. Good luck, mate.
Cheers, bro.